Hello and welcome to today's video. If you're new here, welcome, and if you've been here before, I'm glad you're back. I will probably sound a bit rough because I do feel a bit rough. In the last couple of days just I I just felt really bad. But yeah, just bear with me. I feel really tired and horrible. Anyway, let's get over that. In this video, I am going to try out a new brand, and I've seen this brand in a few places now, and it's called Saviland. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but you know, it is what it is. And I wanted to try out some products that I don't have in my collection yet. So, from any other brand, I just don't have anything like that. And also I wanted to try out their, I think, 3D embossed gel paints, something like that. So I'm gonna try out those as well to see how they go, because again, I've seen them in a couple of places and I really wanted to try the texture of them for myself, because it looks like acrylic paints. So I'm just crazy about anything that kind of looks like acrylic paint that's like not sticky, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm just gonna try that as well. And I also ordered a couple more things. So yeah, let's just get into it. First thing I want to say is that I ordered these 5.5 weeks ago to this date, which doesn't matter, but it's been 5.5 weeks and I only received part of my order. The other part of my order, which is the gel paints, and don't worry, they will be in this video at the end, because I'm gonna film the rest, but I was really excited to try the first part. But the second part was not delivered yet. I'm gonna tell you exactly when it gets delivered, how long it took. And that is because they didn't have it in stock. And I did email them and, kind of asked them, well, you could have let me know that they're not in stock when I ordered, because they didn't really give me a date and time, well, when they will send it out. Although they did send it out like a week after the first package. But still, I didn't know exactly how long that's gonna take. So by the way they said it, it was like, oh, whenever we have it back in stock. So I didn't really like that, to be honest. But I'm just putting the facts out there. If the products are fine, I don't mind, honestly. So yeah. I have to say though, their customer service is sweet, if that makes sense. They are nice. They're really nice people. It's just, I don't think they thought that this would be an issue, but for me it feels like it kind of is. I don't know. I didn't like that. I would have liked more for them to say, look, we don't have this in stock, and is there anything we can do about it or not? But they didn't. So yeah, I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter. What I'm gonna show you first are the first two products that I already received, and I want to show you the packaging, because I already opened them, because I wanted to check what exactly is inside and how the product kind of looks like, the things. But yeah, it came into one of these like bubble wrapped paper envelopes. Yeah, that makes sense. And then both products came into bubble wrap, and then one of them actually had like a plastic seal as well. So this was like sealed. Sorry about the noise. So as I said, both of them came bubble wrapped. This was one of the boxes. Absolutely nothing happened to it, like no damage at all. And then this is the second box. This one came with the plastic seal, and then it had another seal here. So quite well packaged, I have to say. Then this one, because I wanted to see exactly what's in the box, so that's why I opened it. And this one is their gypsum gel, which I'm so excited to try out. The little pots came in sealed as well, so I'm excited to take the lids off to see the colors. And then it also comes in with some kind of instructions. The English on here sometimes is not that great, but it does make sense at the end. If that makes sense. Yeah, anyway, it's kind of like me, you know, my English is not that great sometimes, so and then this is their watercolor that is shimmery, and I've seen this in the art community, obviously, you know, from like actual art brands, but I've never seen it from like nail art brands. Well, I've seen it, but I never tried it from nail art brands, and I really wanted to try it, and the colors are absolutely insane. Like, look at them, they just, oh, they look so gorgeous. And again, this is kind of the same thing as the other one, except here it kind of shows you the watercolor. You know, it's, yeah, it's an instruction thing, which is not necessarily perfect, but that's fine. And then what I'm gonna do here as well is to know exactly how the colors are when I swatch them, because I will swatch all the products in this video. I'm gonna put the numbers on this side and here. I think you can kind of move these from one side to another, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna keep them in the order that they gave it to me and just put numbers on the side, because they don't seem to have names necessarily. So I kind of need to know exactly, because some of these, like these two and these two, are quite similar, and you know, depending on how they swatch, they can be quite similar, some of them. So I want to know exactly which one is which. So yeah, I'll do that. And also I'm gonna activate this with a bit of water and leave it to the side, because watercolor needs to be activated with a bit of water before you start. So, you know, leave it for, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes with water on the top, and that's gonna give you that nice creamy consistency. But I'm really excited to try these. However, I am a bit more excited to try the gypsum gels. So I'm gonna probably do that first, and I'm gonna put this on the side at the moment. So yeah, I'm gonna remove all the metal lids here, and I'm gonna just kind of apply them to some swatch sticks. I did buff my swatch sticks. It does say about these that you have to put them on a matte surface to make sure that, you know, you don't have any kind of like they don't lift at all, that they do stay. They say that if applied correctly, they should last for like 28 days. And also something really weird that I've never seen before when it comes to gel is the fact that it says to not put water on it for about an hour after you applied it. And it is like UV light, well, LED light curable. So yeah, I'll see how that goes. But I do have my swatch sticks ready, you know, they're all nice and buffed. And then for the watercolor, what I did was just put half and half white and black, and then a matte top coat, and then buffed that, just to make sure that the watercolor goes nice and smooth, and also that I see exactly how pigmented the watercolor is, and how it would look on darker and lighter colors. So yeah, I'll just do that, and then I'm gonna make sure that I also swatch everything. I just forgot words for a minute there. But yeah, I'll start swatching them. I will probably start with this white, and then I'll move on to the rest of the colors. I'll first remove all the lids and everything. So yeah, remove every single lid off of them, and then this is the white. I am going to like show you exactly what color it is when I put it on. And because I'm not going to talk through all of the swatches because that's just going to bore you and it's going to take forever, so I'm going to do them a bit fast forward just to make sure. But what I wanted to mention is the fact that this comes in 12 colors, and to be honest, the 12 colors, I'll show you at the end exactly how each color looks, but they are quite good colors, I would say. You know, nothing that looks very similar in my opinion to other things. So yeah, however, I'm gonna just give you my first impressions with the white because I really want to try them. And oh my god, this is so creamy. Like, it's not sticky at all. I don't know if you can tell, but it's so soft and creamy, and oh, I love it. I think they are not supposed to have a sticky layer, and they are mostly used for like abstract looks, but I really love the look, so that's fine. And you can see that they have kind of like a gritty texture. If you were to apply this to the edges of a nail, make sure that you clean up the edges. Of course, not necessarily on a swatch stick, but more on a client, just to make sure that you don't have any kind of raggedy edges that could hurt your client afterwards. But yeah, and then as I said, they are not supposed to have a sticky layer, so they're supposed to be applied over the top of everything after you top coated everything, and you're not supposed to top coat anything after, if that makes any sense. I'm not sure if I make any sense. As I said, I'm quite rough right now. Hopefully when I swatch the rest of the things, I'm not gonna be feeling so rough in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, however long that's gonna take me. But I really like the texture of this. Like, it's so nice and creamy and just beautiful to work with. And this is how it looks all swatched. You're gonna have a lot of texture in this, which is great because I do love that look, as I said. And it looks like it's quite pigmented as well. Like, you know, it's not really see-through or anything. You can see, like, from the other side where there's no texture, it's not see-through at all. And I didn't put a thick layer either. Again, I don't know if you can see that, but it's not a thick layer. So yeah, overall I really love the texture of this. So I cannot wait to actually do a video of me using this in nail art because I think you guys are gonna love it. I already have ideas of what I can do. So yeah, I'll just you know, get on with the swatching and everything. Two more things. The brush cleanup was really easy. I basically just swiped it on a lint-free wipe without any cleanser, and it just cleansed beautifully, which is great because that means that if you go between colors, you know, on a client, you're not gonna have to like spend, you know, half an hour to clean up your brush, because sometimes that can be quite annoying, because there are some really pigmented gel paints that are amazing because they're pigmented, but Christ, it takes forever to get them out. So yeah, that's one. And second, I'm gonna give these a cure for 60 seconds in my Platinum X lamp from Ink London, because I really wanna see how that goes, because that's what my normal thing is. I don't think it says anywhere how long you need to... Oh, it does say. No, it doesn't. Yeah, never mind, it doesn't. This doesn't say anything about this type of gel. So yeah, but another one of their things, another one of their products, which is the gel paint, it's 60 to 120 seconds. So yeah, as I said, I'm gonna cure it for 60 seconds and see how that goes in my Platinum X lamp. So yeah. So if you're wondering, this brush is from Nail Chemie and it's a dual-ended one. It has a spatula, and the brush head, I think it's mostly used for polygel, but I use it for whatever I use it for. Just random stuff because I don't really use polygel, so yeah. So I finished swatching them all, and after working with them, I really love the texture and everything. However, there are a couple of colors that are a bit thicker than the others, like the gold and the silver are just a bit thicker. It doesn't really matter, it doesn't make it really hard to work with them or anything like that. It's just the fact that, you know, you kind of have to adjust your technique for every single color. Also, I this is a product that you don't really work with really thin, so keep that in mind if you ever try this. Don't try to work with it thin, because obviously, because it's a textured gel, is not made for that. Then I feel like the yellow is a bit more see-through. I don't know if you can even tell on here. You probably can't, but it's just that little bit more see-through. You can tell in real life though, because it has like, you can see it there. It's just a couple of spots, but I think that would be really easily fixable if you'd put like a thicker layer or something. Everything seems cured perfectly. They do not have a sticky layer, and they do tend to go a bit more matte-ish after they cure. So just a comparison, like this is obviously uncured, and then this one is cured, so it's a bit more matte-ish, but not matte. It's just, you know, it's not as shiny, which I really love how it looks. Also, something that I don't like, but then I say this about every single brand that does this, but unfortunately, you know, it is how it is, and it's when the color on the lid, it's not the same as the color on the actual product. But that's why I do swatch sticks. So, you know, like here, the scarlet, obviously this one is a bit like, it's kind of like a different color. I don't know how much you can tell on camera. You probably can't tell that big of a difference, but it is a big difference. So yeah, just keep that in mind. It's not the same exact color for some of them, but again, if I do like for instance this one is like completely different. Look at that. Like, this is the color that it's supposed to be, and it's not. But again, you know, if you do swatch sticks, then that's not an issue for you. And also, the colors don't really look like the ones on the website, so keep that in mind. However, I really love the array of colors. I feel like they are just perfect for anything. I am pretty sure you can mix them up. I'm gonna try that in the video where I gonna, you know, show you a couple of designs to do with them. I'm gonna try to mix some colors as well to see how that goes. But I'm just gonna plop these on there. There you go. And then the white. So the array of colors is pretty good, I would say. You know, at the end of the day, you kind of have everything that you'd need. And then if you can mix them up as well, you know, to create a brown as well, because a brown is obviously missing. There are a couple of colors that I would like a different pink as well, a darker one maybe, that I really think people would like more than this one, because this one's quite a nudie pink. And then, you know, yeah, there are a few colors, lighter green, because this is, on the website it was really light, but on here it just doesn't look like a green at all. Like, in real life it does, not on camera. In real life it looks like a very dark green. And again, the lid on that is completely different. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Otherwise, really nice product to work with. It cured beautifully. It doesn't have a tacky layer, and I cannot wait to play with a bit of nail art with this. So yeah, Anyway, I am going to now start swatching the watercolors and see how that goes. As I said before, you will put a couple of drops of water in every single pot and then leave it on the side for it to activate. I would leave it for 5 minutes. I will leave it for 5 minutes and then I'll come back and I'll show you how they look. They're gonna be really nice and creamy, hopefully, because obviously I never tried them, so I don't know, but they normally are really nice and creamy. And then I'm gonna use this watercolor brush that I got in a watercolor kit at some point, and yeah, I don't want to use anything else because I really like this brush and I don't have a bigger brush for swatching a watercolor, so yeah, I probably need to get on that. Anyway, so these have been sat now for about 5 minutes and you can see that the water went in, which is great. It's exactly what we want, because that means that the surface of them is going to be nice and creamy. And also what I recommend every time you work with watercolor is to have a paper towel next to you to make sure that you wipe your brush in between colors. It's going to make it a lot easier, especially if it has like a, let's say, grittier texture to the paper towel, because that's going to remove all the pigment from your brush. And then also what I recommend is to have 2 glasses of water. One of them is to clean up your brush off of any remaining pigment, and the other one is to have clean water all the time for when you need to pick it up to, you know, to go to another color or something like that, because that will prevent any cross-contamination in between colors. And it's also gonna keep away any kind of like brown mix color kind of thing. Is just, yeah, it can look quite awful, especially if you're painting for quite a long time and you keep on like cleaning up your brush in the same water. It looks awful at the end, because you're not actually bringing clean water inside, you're bringing water with all the other colors in, so it can make quite a nasty color. So keep that in mind. It's one of my most used things whenever I work with watercolor. Like I said before, I have my tips ready here and they're all nice and painted half and half, white and black. And I also matte top coated them, and then I buffed them a little bit and cleansed, and now they're ready to go. So I'm going to start off with this white, I would say. It's like a pearly white kind of color, and it seems really pretty. So I'm just gonna give that a mix to make sure all that water is in that first layer of the watercolor. And you probably don't need much, to be honest. So I probably put too much water in here, but just keep that in mind, that you can just do that. And I'll also go on and do the rest of the colors off, like, not off camera, but I'll do them without me talking over them, which is going to be great for you guys. But I wanted to do the first one to just see the consistency and everything. And this looks absolutely incredible. It looks great on the black as well. Like, look at that. It looks like it has great pigment in it. The reason why I wanted metallic watercolor and to see how the metallic watercolor is going to look is because I wanted something that's going to be really like metallic like this, but also something that's not going to be affected by my top coat. I tried before, I'm gonna try to make it thinner. I tried before some inks that were metallic and they were quite affected by my top coat for some reason. So I don't know why, just, yeah, they were dragged a little bit by my top coat, and it was quite hard to work with them and to create any kind of texture because of that, because every time you try to create texture, it would just kind of disappear when you put the top coat on, and like the whole nail would be covered in that. So yeah, it was a bit annoying. but I wanted to try the watercolor because of that. So yeah, I like how this lifts. You can see that there's not much left over, and to be honest, it looks great on the black, it looks great on the white. So I'm just gonna add more because basically this is a swatch, so I want to see exactly how it looks when it's like completely pigmented and everything like that. So yeah, I really love it. And now, as always with the watercolor, you have to let it dry, and that's when you'll see exactly how it looks. But overall, honestly, I think this is incredibly metallic and it's really, really lovely to work with. So yeah, I'll move on to the next colors and see how that goes.
Savvyland.
So my tips are now drying, like all the watercolor is drying. You really need to let it dry properly. And obviously on a client, this would take a bit less time because it's not going to take a lot of time. It takes maybe like 5 minutes depending on how much water you use, even less. But it's going to take less on a client because of the heat from their fingers, whereas, you know, on tips you don't have that heat, so it takes a bit longer. But what I wanted to show you is the jar that I use to clean up my brush. And I know this looks really clean, but keep in mind it's a lot of water and it's a tiny brush, and you know, I picked up just a little bit so it doesn't look dirty at all. But look at this. I don't know if the camera is going to be able to pick it up properly, but it's so pretty. It has like a shimmer in it now, and it's just floating around, and it's so beautiful. I love it. I've been playing with it for the last 5 minutes, can you tell? But yeah, anyway, I'll be back in a second whenever those are dry. So this is how they all look when they're dry. I think that they look absolutely wonderful. I love them so much. For the ones that don't seem to have been as pigmented, it doesn't mean that they're not pigmented. It just kind of means that because they're watercolor, this does not stop moving until it dries completely, which means that because it's on a curved surface, the watercolor is going to go to the sides, so obviously in the middle is not going to be as pigmented as the sides. Plus you're going to see that the line in the middle is a bit more harsh than the rest of you know, you're just going to be able to see the line more than anything else, and that's because obviously for me painting the two colors on top of each other, it created like a spine in the middle, so that means that's even higher than the rest of the nail. So obviously the watercolor is running away from that because of gravity, so it goes on the sides. Anyway, what I want to try now, and then I'll show you all of them shiny, like with the shiny top coat on top. But what I want to try now is to see if the shiny top coat affects them in any way, because as I said, the ink that I used before was affected by like the shiny top coat, which, you know, it's a different product, so hopefully this is not going to be affected, because I never had any watercolor being affected by a shiny top coat. I keep on bumping those two together. So, you know, hopefully it's not going to be an issue. But yeah, we'll see. Because then I never had any ink affected before by a top coat, but that one did. The metallic ones did. So yeah, hopefully this is not going to be an issue. It doesn't seem to have done anything to it, which is awesome. I'm so happy about it now. Yeah, I'll plop this in the lamp and I'll do all the rest of them, and then I'll come back and I'll show you how all of them look really shiny like this. So this is how they look now that they've been made shiny, and to be honest, I really love them. They're just so pretty. all of them are so pretty. I'm gonna show you two at a time because that's easier. But yeah, they are really good quality. I am really in love with them, and you're probably wondering why I swatch them on nails when I normally swatch my watercolor on paper. And that's because I really wanted to see the black and the white and how they cover over the black and the white. And I don't have black watercolor paper, I only have the white, so there's that. And second, because I wanted to see how the top coat is gonna perform over the top of these. So yeah, that's basically the reason. But I really love them, and weirdly enough, my favorite color out of them all is this, which is like a green with a gold kind of shimmer to it. It's absolutely gorgeous. But all of them are really pretty, and I cannot wait to actually use these in, you know, kind of a design set, hopefully. I don't know. Hopefully they're not gonna go in a drawer and I'll forget about them, because that happens sometimes. But yeah. Anyway, the rest of my order finally arrived, and it has been a month and a half since I ordered, and I mean, it's here now, so I guess it doesn't matter. Just keep that in mind whenever you're ordering. Also, you know how I said that they didn't send this at the same time as the other one? They sent it like a week later because they didn't have it in stock, and they didn't bother to mention or anything like that. The first order came in from Netherlands. At least that's what it says on the tracking app. But this one came from China, which makes me think that their factory is in China, so they sent it straight from the factory. And I mean, it doesn't say anything on the gypsum gel where it's made, but on the watercolor it says that it's made in China, and then you have the production date, which I think it's a nice thing to mention, you know. I wish the gypsum gel would have had that as well, but this basically came in like one of these bubble wrapped envelopes, and then it also came in bubble wrapped. So I'm just gonna open this up now, and I'm gonna take this out. It looks like the box is the same as the one for the gypsum gel, so you know, it's nicely packed. So yeah, give me a second while I open this up. So this came in a little bit damaged, as you can see here. Hopefully nothing is damaged inside, but that's why we have gloves on. And I can see that the sticker with where it was made, it's on the actual plastic wrap, which I don't have for the other box. So I'm thinking maybe that one had it as well. Just saying, you know, I'm trying to be fair here. I'm really not trying to trash anyone. So yeah, and it has like a, as I said, a plastic wrap. So I'm gonna cut that open now and take this whole thing off because we don't need it. And I'm really curious to see the way they look. So they still have these like circles of like tape here where it's sealed so it can't open during, you know, shipping and handling. And yeah, I mean, everything looks fine. I'm looking at the ones that are next to the damaged part, and to be honest, I mean, with this sponge here as well, I don't think anything would be awful. They also sent me some brushes, as you can see here. So we have, let me just get them out. So we've got like a, maybe like a detailer brush kind of thing, and then we have a gel brush, and then we have a very short gel brush. I can't say I'm extremely happy with the quality already, because you can see that this one, I don't know if you can see, let me move this out. You can see that this one is not cut properly. They seem soft enough, you know. I'm just thinking the quality might not be there. Like this one is bent, but then again the tube was very, very low, as you saw, so maybe that's why. I can say that after seeing these brushes, I can recommend their brushes. if they are all like this. I'm not sure, you know, maybe these are just like, I don't know. But then we have the colors here, and it seems like it's 12 colors. So we've got like, I'm guessing that's a pink, blue, red, silver, purple, pink, again, bright pink, and then white, black, brown, green, gold, and yellow. So I'm really curious of how these look on the inside. So I'm just gonna, okay, this one's not supposed to come off, but that's fine. Let's push it back in. And then they have that like seal again, so I'm just gonna cut that open. I'm just using a cuticle knife. Oh, come on, get out. Oh, okay. This looks very creamy. Like seriously creamy. Looks a little bit like the cream gel that I did a review on a few months ago, if you remember. It looks a little bit like that. It seems quite pigmented, but we'll see when we work with it exactly how pigmented it is. So I'm just gonna remove this, and I'm gonna also swatch them. I'm not gonna use their brushes because they're really small, and my swatch sticks, like the actual nails on the swatch sticks, are really big, so I don't want to spend, you know, 3 days swatching. So I'm gonna use a bigger brush to do that. But yeah, they look really creamy at first glance. I really love this color. It's a really nice pink. This is called Romantic Sakura. So yeah, I am going to go ahead and swatch, open the rest, and then I'm gonna come back for swatching. So I finally removed all the lids, and I'm gonna swatch them in a different order than what it was in the box, just because it's easier for me to clean up the brush between the swatches and stuff like that. Anyway, so these are called micro carving gels, and I think the reason for that is because this has like a medium to high viscosity. You can see that it's not self-leveling at all. Many people have compared this to acrylic paint, and I'm really curious to see if it actually kind of feels like that. And I'm gonna just swatch the first one while talking, and then I'm just gonna quickly go through the rest, because I'm sure no one wants to hear me for longer than necessary. So this feels very soft. So it's not, I know it looks stringy, but it's kind of not. Like, it's really soft to break away. So we'll see. And it looks really good. It looks quite pigmented. The only thing is, you can see that there's this texture on there that I'm guessing is going to be quite hard to get rid of, but I'm guessing that's why they call it a carving gel, because you can create actual texture. So I'm going to try to work it a little bit to see if I can get rid of that texture, just a tad, because that's obviously from the brush. And I also am curious to see if this has a sticky layer or not, to see how that reacts. But you can see the texture is on there, which is not a bad thing, because again, this is called a micro carving gel, first, and second, you do have designs where you'd need this texture, or you know, you might like this texture. So yeah, but it has no kind of self-leveling at all, or maybe like the tiniest, but I don't think so. And yeah, you can see the ridges that my brush left. I'm just gonna cure this now. It does say 60 seconds in an LED lamp. I'm gonna do 120 just in case. And I think I'm gonna put the second layer on, because you can see there's a bit of shadowing here and there. So I'm gonna try to put the second layer to see how that goes. I don't think I'm gonna be able to like get rid of the texture completely or anything like that. So yeah, I'm just gonna pop that in the lamp, give it a cure, and then I'll come back. So I'm just gonna put the second layer on, and I think this is gonna be the thing that's gonna make it look all better. And again, the texture, I'm just gonna embrace it because this would be beautiful, I think, to create swirls and things like that. Not necessarily for flat painting, maybe. I'm not sure. I need to try, but yeah, I'm guessing it's gonna be very, very textured for flat painting. So I've got like a hair right there. So yeah, I'm not really liking the look of very textured flat painting. So that's, again, that's my opinion. And that hair is still on there. Oh my god. Why are you like this? Okay, got rid of it. But yeah, you can see with the second layer, this actually kind of, you know, if you work it a little bit, it kind of looks quite flattish, I would say. So again, embrace the texture. Is there for a reason. If you want flat painting, use other stuff. But yeah, I like it. And that second layer got rid of any of the shadowing that was created by my brush. Again, it might be the brush as well, so just keep that in mind. Now I'm gonna give this another cure, and I'll be back in a second. So this is all cured now, and it seems like it does have a sticky layer. You can see that. I don't know if you can actually, but my glove is leaving some kind of texture on there. So I'm gonna remove that sticky layer. It's not a bad thing that it has a sticky layer, by the way. I just want to see how shiny it is without that sticky layer, because some gel paints are not. And you can see that it lost a bit of that shininess. It's a bit more matte, which again is not a bad thing, you know. It still has a bit of shininess. It's just not as strong. And when you're creating swirls and stuff, you want them to be able to be seen. So yeah, I'm guessing, you know, it's not a bad thing, especially if you want to top coat. I don't know how well you're gonna top coat the textured design, but if you do, then you don't even have to think about the fact that it's not too shiny or not. Oh, I can't talk. Anyway, I'm gonna move on to the rest of the colors actually, and I'll be back at the end with the final thoughts after I've been through all the colors and seen how they all perform. Actually, I just wanted to see how shiny top coat, if a shiny top coat will get rid of that texture, and it seems like it does for most of it. It's not perfect, but most of the texture is gone. Again, I don't know if you've ever used these type of swatches before, but they're really hard to work with because of this like huge bump right here. So it's gonna always be a bit weird at this side. Just keep that in mind. But yeah, the top coat seemed to have removed some of that texture, and now it's like nice and shiny and even. I still wouldn't use it necessarily for flat painting too much, unless you want that little bit of texture there. If you want a flat color, maybe use something else. But that's not the product's fault. Obviously, it's just the way the product is, so keep that in mind.
You mean bread butterflies?
Oh, yes, of course.
So the swatching is all done now, and to be honest, I think the white was the hardest one to like flatten out. The rest didn't have as much texture. They were still, you know, not self-leveling at all, but not as much as the white, if that makes sense. Especially the darker colors, they were really nice and creamy, and they were like getting a really nice flat texture right away. Well, as flat as possible again. Overall, I really like these paints. I cannot wait to actually use them into something. I like the colors. I think the colors are so pretty. The only thing I need to mention is the black is not as pigmented as it looks on camera. Like, I saw how it looked on camera, and I saw how it looked in real life. It's not as pigmented, definitely needed 2 coats. But the rest are, yeah, they're alright. I really love them. So yeah, I think these paints are gonna be a nice addition to anyone's collection. If you want something that will have a bit more texture, that will like go on top of things. Also, they did mention that if they are colder, obviously they're gonna be thicker, and like if it's, you know, cold in your room, they're gonna act a bit different than if it's a bit warm in your room. Yeah, I'm not able to talk today as always. But other than that, again, nice range of colors as well. You know, I really like the gold and the silver. I think the gold is the least pigmented thing out there. You can see it. It might need a bit of a yellow underneath or something. I don't know. If you're like painting in a thinner layer. If you're painting in a thicker layer, then you should be fine. But just needed to mention that. Other than that, I'm quite happy with these paints. Again, the only thing I'm not happy with is their brushes. They just don't seem like they're a good quality brush, but they were free. They included them in the pack, so if you were to order, I'm not sure if you would get these or if you'd get something else. I'm not sure. They do have their branding on it, so keep that in mind. And yeah, I don't think I have much else to say. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I hope you guys are gonna be here when I use the things that I bought, because I cannot wait to actually use them. They're like, yeah, I have so many ideas. Anyway, I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye.